all the possible scenarios. In all the possible scenarios in this type of games, it means that it's a game where you didn't manage to take advantage of the superiority, the number of players on superiority through the whole game. Well, what happened is that we wanted to take the game in our hands, and our mistakes show that we didn't manage to be physically on the side of the pitch. We didn't manage to have as many opportunities as we wanted to in the pitch, so the penalties were starting to get accumulated and the score was rising up, and those 6 drops, the 6 kick balls made us impossible to manage the different stop situations. England played well. We didn't know how to change the rhythm throughout the whole game, mainly because of our mistakes and our own mistakes. Mike, I'd like to ask you the situation regarding Julian's injury. What was the main problem in this game? It was not. It's not clear exactly what kind of injury. It's injury on the ribs, but we don't know how big is the injury. Regarding the fixed situations, I think we wanted to extend the lines on the field. I think when the mall were installed, we made a lot of mistakes, but I think we have to recognize the value of the English team. They play very well, and the situation was difficult for us. It was hard for us to play the game. Michael? What are the positive aspects you're taking from that game to keep on working for next week? So I think the positive that we can take from that game is we're not going to make huge modifications in our preparation. But I think, as I already said, we cannot only wait for the opportunities to come from nothing. We have to create our own opportunities. The world is keep moving on. We have the opportunity to change the situations throughout next games. For some of us, it's not the first World Cup, so we all know that we need some continuity, so we are not going to change our preparation. My question is to both of you. It's a start of this World Cup. What happened, really? Because from the outside, we can see that it was a team with not so many varieties, not many changes, a lot of mistakes in the passes, lack of directions. What happened, really? Yeah, that's right. We made a lot of mistakes and we paid the price of those mistakes. And in my own experience, we made some mistakes, enforced mistakes due to a lack of concentration in the important moments. Regarding those mistakes, it's a different story. But we are talking a lot about enforced mistakes that we did in this game today. We worked a lot on the concentration and on the focus to have in the different actions. And I think our team really focused on the important part of the game during the preparation phases. But it's still a different thing to do that on the field, on the pitch. We clearly lacked of concentration, but as a coach, one needs to be able to apply what we did during the training sessions. So we'll need to have a better capacity of concentration during the game. Yes, I fully agree with Michael. We made a lot of mistakes and forced mistakes. I think we've kind of lost our patience and we started to make even more mistakes.
Forward masterclass today. I wonder if you could give your opinion on his game today, and do you think he's been a slightly underrated fly half in the international scene?
Look, I thought England managed the game very well. You know what I mean? The game was very stop-start, exactly how they wanted it, and Ford played the cards nicely in those scenarios. You know, the pitch is a little smaller. It's not the full distance. It's only 95, so you can take a shot from further out. And well managed, you know what I mean? So full credit to them. They played the game really well. They managed the scenario. They didn't let us get any flow in our game, and Ford was a big part of that. Not just through his kicking through at the poles, but also through his kicking in general play as well. You know, they landed some. So I think they won that battle, and that's something that we'll need to fix up before we get to our next opponent for sure.
Thank you. Question at the front, please.
Julian, in contrast to November 22, when you guys were very, very disciplined, today you looked a little bit edgy. You lacked that little bit of discipline in the midfield. Do you put that down to perhaps maybe the lack of one or two warm-up games? What would you put down your edginess to today? It wasn't the usual directness that I'm used to seeing from Argentina.
Yeah, you know, in terms of discipline, we can't compare like 2 years ago. Like every game and in the World Cup, the level goes up. So I don't want to speak about what happened last time we played there. And now it's a different level. But yeah, in terms of discipline, we need to be much more disciplined, as the word said. Credit to England, they were good in the breakdown, but then there were lots of mistakes that we did in our own terms. So yeah, we need to go and take the opportunity, not wait the opportunity to present. Yeah, you say it, we were as disciplined that we should be, and most of those penalties were in our territory, so we let them start putting score pressure. But yeah, lots of things to improve. Now we have time, we need to look inside each other, stick together, and we have a game ahead.
Thank you.
Julián,
Andy?
acá. Tanto para Julián como para Michael, históricamente...
That's for Julian and Michael. And the Puma's selection history, generally you have a good scrum, and 7 out of the 8 mistakes were made in the scrum. So how would you explain that? Because usually Argentina is really strong in the scrum. So how would you justify that there were so many mistakes made in the scrum? And Julian, what were the words of support you received regarding that game? regarding what happened in the scrum, the English were playing 8. Tulemi was on the side, so there were 2 penalties due to technical mistakes from us. One of the 2 were a surprise because we were moving forward, we were going forward, and the decision from the referee, the decision of a penalty, I really didn't understand because we were going forward. And 6 times we created a lineup of 5 players, and they formed a line of 6, and the referee didn't notice it. So there were some unclear situations at some point. And obviously we need to improve our scrum game if you want to improve other sectors as well. But I don't think we had some difficulties on the scrum specifically. It was tough for us to dominate, clearly. But now I think that the referees are whistling more technical mistakes more than ever, and I think we need to adapt very quickly because things can change from one game to another. And my colleagues from Leicester said hi to me and asked me how I was, but we didn't really exchange with my mates from Leicester. The team from England is on its way. Thank you very much.